So today we're focusing on how you actually find experiential learning opportunities. So first and foremost, where do you find opportunities? Number one, the experiential learning team works hard every year to build relationships with on and off campus folks to develop as many paid internship opportunities as possible. Those are all posted on HireUTexas Powered by Handshake, which we'll cover in a lot of depth. All of those positions are posted with the term ULN-EL in front of them, in front of the title, so that it makes it easier for you to search through and find those specific jobs that are actively looking only for ULN students. Indeed is a more broad job search site that gives lots of opportunities outside of just UT. So using these websites in tandem can be really helpful to find some basic opportunities. Your coordinator is another great option for talking through finding opportunities and thinking about your strategies. You can also take a look at our ULN video on career resources that talks through what we have to offer, check what Texas Career Engagement or your college career services have to offer. So all of these are great places to start. But we're going to focus our attention today on how Handshake in particular, HireUTexas Powered by Handshake, is going to be helpful for you in your experiential learning search. HireUTexas Powered by Handshake. So you can log in here, and this is what you'll see. So when you first log in, there are a couple of key things to just notice. So first and foremost, the more that you interact with Handshake, the more effective it's going to be for you. You'll notice that it is doing a lot of analytics. So it's similar to Netflix. It uses machine learning to try and best predict what jobs or internships might be appealing to you. So based on what I click on, which is slightly complicated because I work with a lot of students, so I click on many different things, it usually gives me a somewhat broad list of jobs that might be interesting to me. So as you look down here, you'll see some suggestions from Texas Career Engagement, other things that might be popular for people sharing your position, jobs that are expiring soon. They give all sorts of stuff on that front page. And these are going to be unique to you, to your major, and even your career center. The first thing that's really helpful to know is to complete your profile. So if you click on this tiny thing, looks like your initials, and click on your profile, it's going to help you to actually build your materials. So I haven't built mine out because this is a dummy account, but were it real, I would add a photo. Much like my LinkedIn, I would give information about my education, where I'm working, what I do, what courses I take, etc. I would also give a lot of information about these areas, right? What am I looking for? What do I like to do? You can upload a resume if you don't feel like having to go through this process. It's going to auto-populate a lot of this information for you. Having a complete profile makes you much more likely, similar to LinkedIn, to be able to be seen by employers, because there are many employers who are, again, using those same key search terms to find people and encourage them to apply for positions. But we're going to spend the bulk of our time on this jobs tab, because that's generally the area y'all are most interested in. When we start, we're going to notice that there's, over 12,000 jobs, which is just that's too many for us to look through. So you'll see it defaults with some of the key filters that are really helpful. So we are in the off cycle right now when I'm recording this. But normally, if I was looking for ULN positions specifically, so roles that were absolutely looking for ULN students, I would type in ULN-EL. And now I see on the side, there are still a handful of organizations that are actively searching for students throughout the year. So we don't have a ton that are actively searching at all times, and we'll take students. So what you'll know when you look at these, so you can read through, learn more about what the position looks like. It will tell you if it's remote or not, which is really helpful. Almost all of the positions that we are approving for ULN are remote. It'll tell you whether or not you are eligible to apply. So I'm not, because I'm not an undergraduate student. You see the job description, and it tells you a little bit more about the organization. This is really helpful for you to just look and see who's specifically looking for ULN students. Make sure as you apply to any of these positions that you've uploaded a resume that includes your ULN experience on it. So when you click this apply button, it's going to allow you to upload a resume or search through your potential resumes, answer a few different questions, and submit your application. So make sure that the resume you submit here is the resume that does include your ULN experience. You don't only have to look for positions that are looking for ULN, right? So We see there's 12,000 positions. Let's say first you were looking for an internship. So now we've narrowed down to about 4,000, but that's still a lot to look through. So if you click on this All Filters tab, you're going to be able to look at some basic filters. So let's say you want to get paid. You don't want to look for unpaid internships. Click on that. It's going to start narrowing things down. If you are, for example, an international student or undocumented, you might click on this will sponsor or doesn't require a US work visa, or accepts OPT or CPT, depending again on your on what you're looking for. You can filter by a specific industry. So if there's a particular industry that you really want to see, there are so many. So you can scroll through. So there's lots and lots of ways to filter. All we did was filter by, is it paid or not? So that didn't really filter a ton out for us, which is great. So now we might use our more specific search terms. So let's say we are looking for a marketing role. Well, now I see there's 1,200 jobs, which is still kind of a lot. So maybe I want, technically right now, you don't necessarily have to use a lot of the filters for where your location is because most positions are remote. But let's say you're looking for stuff specifically in Austin. Well, now we have 104, which is so much more reasonable and manageable to look through. As you're looking, you'll notice on the right, you can scroll through the full application and learn more about it. On the left, you can still keep your place in line as you're searching. So you can favorite any ones that are interesting to you. It's going to pull up if anything is fresh or new or expiring soon to make it easier for you to look. So that's the basics of using Handshake to find experiential learning opportunities. The final little section I'll encourage you to take a look at is the events tab. So there are many events in Handshake because a lot of companies and organizations are doing things virtually, and so it's very easy for them to provide many sessions. So you can look by this week if you just want to see what's available coming up this week. You can search by career fairs specifically. So this week we've got the grad school fair and Moody's marketing and sales specific virtual fairs. Normally you'd be able to look at whether things are virtual or not. Pretty much everything is virtual. So anyways, there's lots of filters that you can use here based on what is helpful for you. So if you want to see any of these specific things like info session, you could do that. And now you're only going to see things listed as information sessions. The Q&A tab could be helpful. This is where you can contact other people to ask some basic questions that might be interesting to you. And the students tab can connect you to other students.